Yep, I'm live. All right, hello everybody. Yeah, I'm late actually. I just saw that right now. I am. I was a little bit late, 2 minutes. It's not typical of me, but these days I've been a bit late. I think that's just due to a little bit of work and homework and things along those lines. But yes, I am live as of now. What's up, Claps? Good to see you. Thank you for being on. Thank you, Najimadine. Correct me if I'm wrong. As always, with names I can get them up and down. Najimadine, I think it is. And Jonas says he's late again. Yeah, I've been late these past few days, so sorry about that. I'm trying to make it on time. And Abdullahi Omar did want to ask if I could make it 2 hours before. I wasn't able to do it today just because. So the situation is, I guess 7:30 is a pretty good time because obviously I have school during those times. Basically I have school from 4 to 6:30 in the evening. So those times are a little bit more difficult for me, Abdullahi. I'll try to do it. I'll try to do it earlier. I'll try to change the times around just to see, if I can, get a different kind of population, I guess. I'll see what I can do, Abdullahi. So I'll see what I can do. Hopefully I can do something. You can just call me Naj. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Naj. And Rodrigo Lasso. Finally, I got on time. I know. Good to see you. Thank you for being on. I really do appreciate it. So I did want to talk a little bit about, pretty much our season, and it's been a bit lackluster, to be honest, because obviously, the situation at Real Madrid, we're supposed to be the top clubs in the world, or one of the top clubs, and so far it hasn't looked like that. Obviously, Barcelona have lost a few points in the beginning of the season, so that's helped us quite a bit. I think they have 4 points, and I think we have 5 points, but still 5 points in 3 games. I mean, it's not very good. So I just want to talk a little bit about what Zidane can do to basically, try to get us in the right direction, I guess. And it's going to be a difficult situation. I think anyone who would have come to manage Real Madrid, it wouldn't have been easy for anyone, even for someone like Jose Mourinho, who of course, so many people would like to see at the club, I guess. But in any case, it wouldn't have been easy. It wouldn't have been easy. I think some of these players, they've kind of lost it. And what I'm saying is that they're not the players that they used to be. I'm not going to name any names as of right now, but there are a few players. They're just not at that level that they used to be, unfortunately. So anyways, let's get into the topic a little bit for today. The one thing that I would like to see, I guess, for the lineups is I would like to see Areola just being tried in the goalkeeping position. Just because Courtois hasn't been that great as of lately, I would just like to see another goalkeeper. I would have liked to see Keylor Navas being number one. I don't think we're going to see Areola being number one in that goalkeeping position, but I would like to see him being tried in that in that position, just because I think that Areola he's a good shot stopper. I know he's got a mistake in him. I feel that way about him, but he's a good shot stopper. I've seen him at Villarreal, and I thought he was very, very good at that. So, if we can get him to maybe be number one, I think that would be great. Jonas Areola Eagles carry us. Yeah, I can see what you mean. I mean, that's the thing, I think that Areola has a mistake in him. That's the problem with him. And Jonas says if Isco can find his 16-17 season form, if Bale and Benzema can find 15-16 season form, and if Cruz and Modric find 16-17 form, then Real Madrid can be great again. And see, that's the problem. You're going towards that very good point, right? Where those players they're not the players that they once were, and that's the problem that we're facing at Real Madrid. We have too many of those kinds of players where they're just not the players they once were. And you can't really. It's difficult to go out there and just buy players and just buy players and replace the whole squad. You can't really do that. It's not entirely feasible. So it's just a matter of motivating them. And yeah, we need some squad depth. That would bring the best out of the midfield. I mean, some of the midfielders I feel just a bit complacent. There's just no hunger. Naj also says Naj says I think our players lost the hunger we had, and that's a very, very good point. Real Madrid fan, good to see you. Thank you for being on. Really do appreciate it. And Real Madrid fan also says the problem that will not happen anytime soon. Yeah, exactly. It's so it is kind of it's a precarious situation at the moment, and of course I would have liked to see a few more transfers being done in the transfer window, but It is what it is. I think Zinedine Zidane really should have gone after other midfielders. After seeing that Paul Pogba was infeasible, he should have gone after other ones. I know Bruno Fernandes, it was very, very close, but it failed at the last minute. I think that was due to just paperwork or something along those lines, not being submitted on time. Or I don't know what it was exactly, but it was something about the timing. And we had the whole summer. We sold 3 midfielders, not at the beginning of the transfer window, but it wasn't too long after the transfer window was open that we sold those 3 midfielders, and we had so much time to buy other midfielders, and it just ended up that we didn't buy any. And I think that's going to catch up to us in the long term. Let's see. So Rodrigo Lasso says, strange for Real Madrid fans to repeatedly say it's a transitioning season so often lately. We're Real Madrid. What's happening? I've kind of said that, to be honest, and I've kind of thought of it as a transition season, but it should never be a transition season at Real Madrid. Look, I think at this point it kind of is. I might just have to accept that it is going to be a transition season, and the reason that is just because you look at the squad, some of the players that we have, and it's I don't think it's going to be the greatest. Some of the players still have to gel. Some of the players are not at the level they used to be. You look at the goalkeeping situation, Courtois, Areola. Are they really going to win us a league title? Are they really going to win us trophies? I don't think so. To be honest. You look at the right back position, Carvajal, Odriozola, another position where it's not looking great at the moment. You have the center back position, Ramos and Varane. I think Ramos can get the job done, but he is dwindling down. Ramos is dwindling down. Varane is looking up and down. You got Militao. I think Militao would be great. I would love to see Militao being put in the starting lineup, just because it would bring us a different, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air, and I think we need some new blood. And I would love to see Militao just get more and more games. I think Zinedine Zidane, what he needs to do is really, really trust the new players. And to give them some time, it's normal to get some mistakes at the beginning, but I think he needs to trust these new players, the new signings, because ultimately, the old timers, I guess you could say, they're not going to be with us forever. You have to inculcate the new signings into the team, or else it's just not going to work going forward, I would say. Let's see. So Real Madrid fan, is that the effect of Ronaldo leaving? Yeah, partly. Look, Ronaldo leaving, that was always, I'm not saying that was always going to happen, but Ronaldo leaving, it's very difficult to replace all those goals. Ronaldo was one of the players, made the game look easy. I have to say that Ronaldo just had that in him, and he was a great player for us. But we have to spread the goals more evenly. I say, so Gareth Bale gets 20 goals a season, Benzema gets 20 goals a season, and Eden Hazard gets 20 goals a season. However, you look at it pragmatically, and it's not like that. That's not the situation. Benzema can get 20 goals a season. That's his ceiling, I guess. Hazard, will he get 20 goals a season? I don't think so. And Bale, will he get 20 goals a season? He's not. He's going to get injured. So, when you look at the situation like that, on more realistic terms, it's just not going to work out. And yeah, we do need someone who can, I would say, bring us those kinds of goals. But with the players that we have at the moment, it's not exactly going to work out so well, because Eden Hazard just 15 goals a season, Benzema 20 goals a season, and then Bale maybe 15 goals the season. We need someone who can not be a Ronaldo exactly, but we need someone who can offer us more, and hopefully Jovic will come good in that. Nash says someone like Christian Eriksen would have been nice. I think that's good at Christian Eriksen, but is he an attacking midfielder, or is he a center midfielder? And I think that's a lot. Some people have been questioning that one. We do have a lot of attacking mids already. We do have James, we have Isco, and then we have Brahim Diaz, and Asensio's a right winger, I guess. But we had more than enough there. So I think that was okay for the Christian. I think for Christian Eriksen, did we really need him? If he plays center mid, then maybe I would have liked him. But I really don't know how he plays. I haven't watched too much of Christian Eriksen, so that's why maybe I can't say much. And Jonas says Eriksen plays in different roles under Poch. Thank you for that. Rodrigo Lassa says, we still struggled with Ronaldo. Remember that awful 17-18 season? Yes, I do remember that. That's actually a good point. Yeah, in La Liga, we did struggle. I mean, and yes, he did paper over the cracks, Ronaldo. I think, we kind of saw this with Zidane, that he did paper over the cracks. Ronaldo was, he covered, and his greatness really led to us, being, I would say, not complacent, but just being content with our situation in some ways, I guess. I don't even know where I'm going with that. But anyways, let's see here. Let's see. So what else did I want to say? So you look at the forward line. I mean, you have Vinicius, obviously, who's obviously he's not quite there. I mean, he needs a loan from me, Vinicius, or what he needs to do is, I mean, I don't know. I think a loan would have been best. I've said that before about Vinicius. He's not the finished product. And at Real Madrid, obviously, the fans are patient, but the patience is very, very short. It's not that they're not that patient, I should say. So I think Vinicius, it would have been best for him to get a loan move, but it is what it is. You look at Jovic. I think Jovic can come good this season. I think he needs to come good. I like Benzema and everything, but as much as I like Benzema, I feel like we have to. How can I say this? We have to move on. It's nothing bad towards Benzema. I do like Benzema as a player. I think he does bring a lot. However, I think we just need to move on. We need to bring in some fresh blood. I think Jovic could certainly do that. Gareth Bale obviously is going to be injured 40% of the season, and Eden Hazard. Obviously, the injury seems so anomalous with Eden Hazard. He usually doesn't get injured, so I'm quite surprised that we saw injuries. And we've seen injuries, all throughout the squad as of lately, and I think that's quite worrying. That's something that we're not used to dealing with. Those injuries. I mean, you got James Rodriguez, you got Isco who was injured, you had Ferland Mendy who was injured, you had who else? Brahim Diaz was injured. This was not normal. I mean, this was something that we didn't see under Real Madrid in the previous seasons. So obviously a little bit weird that we're having to deal with all this, but the changing and obviously in the coaching staff has led to this. So I guess it's just something to deal with. Is it really Zidane's fault at the moment that we're just going through a tumultuous time? I mean, some of the stuff is questionable. You talk about I know people have talked to me about the substitutions. Obviously some of the tactics have been questionable, and I really don't like that 4-4-2 that much. I thought I was going to get warmed up to it, and potentially, I thought that the 4-4-2 had potential. I thought we were, going to, how can I say this? I thought we were going to assimilate to the 4-4-2, but it never really worked out. So I think the 4-4-3 would work best for us. I think continuing with the 4-4-3 could be something to consider just going forward. Everyone's kind of used to that, and I think it brings a lot of balance to the team. So I would say 4-3-3 going forward. I don't like the 4-4-2 that much. I don't know what Zidane's looking to do. There was also the 3-5-2 that he tried in the season. The 3-5-2, I liked it actually to some extent. I don't feel like we created a lot of chances, but then you could say the same thing in a 4-3-3 in some of these games that we didn't create. I mean, the first game obviously we did so well. I wish the first game could be, we could be like that every game. But what I'd say is the 4-3-3 just brings a lot of balance, and I hope we continue with that 4-3-3. And Rodrigo Lasso says, would you get Eriksen in January or wait and trust Odegaard to come good in a year or two? I would trust Odegaard on Rodrigo Lasso, and the reason being is that I have seen some stuff on Martin Odegaard at Real Sociedad, and he looks like he's going to be ready next year. I'm not surprised if we do see him next year in a Real Madrid shirt. He's looking that good. He was seen. How can I say this? He was seen pretty highly in the Eredivisie, and now at Real Sociedad, people are just they understand the hype with Odegaard now, and that's very good. When I saw him at the age of 16, I knew that he was good. I knew that he had the potential. Replacing Ronaldo and all that stuff. Yeah. But when I saw him on the ball, I knew he had the potential right away. And it's good to see him, it's good to see that potential just finally coming out. So I think Odegaard next year, I think it would be better to wait for Odegaard. I think he'll come good. And Real Madrid fan says, I don't like the 4-4-2 formation, so sure, we will have one striker, which is Benzema, and Jovic will not have time this season. Yeah, I don't like the 4-4-2 either. I would like to see that. Essentially, I would like to see Jovic, kind of usurping that, Benzema's role in that striker position. Jovic is a little bit different than Benzema. Obviously, Benzema can operate, different positions. What I mean by that is he can play kind of, he kind of interchanges throughout the pitch. He plays. He can widen the pitch. He can be on the right. He can be on the left. He can play the striker. So that's what I like about Benzema. So Jovic is going to be a little bit different. Obviously, he's the player who finishes and things along those lines. I've seen good stuff from Jovic. I think he will come good. We just have to provide service for him. Essentially, I didn't see too much of it. So hopefully, I know he got the little flick for Carvajal. So obviously, that a good thing from Jovic. But besides that, he didn't get too much service, and I'm a little bit worried in terms of that, in terms of the service this season. And Real Madrid fan says, also look like Rodrigo goes better than Vinicius Jr., but he will play with all the wingers we have. Yeah, I know. Rodrigo, I think he's been named, if I'm not mistaken, in the Champions League squad for the 1920 season. So I think he'll get some playing time. Yeah, he's not going to get playing time over Vinicius Jr. So I don't know how it's going to happen. Maybe someone's going to get injured. Maybe he's going to, maybe he's going to come in for someone who gets injured or something along those lines. Throughout the season, we will have injuries. I think that's only normal. And maybe Rodrigo can fill the void for that. But there you go. Rodrigo Lasso says, I agree. If we have Lucas Vazquez regularly coming off the bench, then Odegaard is most definitely ready. Yeah, exactly. I think exactly. That's a good point, Rodrigo Lasso. Yeah, Lucas Vazquez. As much as I like him, maybe it's best if we sell him. He's been a great servant to the club, but I think it's time that we move on from someone like that. He's good in the last 15, 20 minutes. He's a good substitute. He's good off the bench, but do we really need someone like that? I think we need a little bit better, especially if we're to win. We're not. Look, this is the thing. We're not Manchester United. We're not Arsenal. We don't keep players just to keep them. We have to be ruthless and we have to move on from those kinds of players. And I think Lucas Vazquez is one of them where we just have to move him on. Essentially. John says Real Madrid are lacking creativity in midfield. Yes, exactly. Thank you for that. And I hope that Zidane can try 4-3-3 with Casemiro and James and Isco as midfield three. That's actually a good one, Jonas. I really like that. I know Isco can play that center midfielder position. I know he's more attacking minded, but I have seen him play that position. And under Zidane, what I have to say about Isco is that he is willing to run his socks off. And what I mean by that, he's just willing to put in the a good shift. He's willing to put in the work, and I have seen him perform pretty well as a center midfielder. So that could be something worth experimenting. Especially if it's just to bring in a little bit more creativity. Or what you could do is play Casemiro. Actually, yeah, something like that, I guess. And then Jonas says, and then we'll see a super creative Real Madrid. Exactly. Yeah, that's what we need at the moment. We just need a little bit of creativity, and that's really what we're lacking. I understand that James and Isco are injured and things along those lines. You have Asensio injured, obviously Brahim Diaz, and that's a lot of creativity right there. And all those players are injured, so I can exonerate Zidane to some extent just because of those injuries. But at the same time, I don't know. It's Real Madrid. We should have more squad depth, and I think at the moment that's what's getting to us, and that's what's going to get to us throughout the season is that squad depth. And Jonas says exactly, Isco got that work rate. Exactly. That's a good point, Jonas. Isco does have that work rate. We have seen Isco under Zidane works really, really well. Obviously under Solari it didn't work that well, but what I have to say under Zidane he is definitely a player who will put in that work. So let's see if I wanted to talk about other things. Bale, I know there's some talk about Bale being the hero and things along those lines. But Bale is going to get injured at the end of the day. He is going to get injured. It's just a matter of time. At the moment, let's enjoy him. He is a very, very good player, world class on his day. The only thing is that we cannot rely on Gareth Bale to get us through the season. We cannot rely on him to, win a La Liga trophy because essentially he will just get injured, and that's Gareth Bale for you. That's only normal. And like I said, let's just enjoy it while we can. He's very, very good. Hopefully we could just see him, get through the season without injury. I would love to see that, but like I said, as much as I'd love to see that, I think it'll just happen. Devante, thank you for being on, dude. Really appreciate it. And then Devante says, play Hazard and Vinicius on the wings. Yeah, I know. Vinicius actually was talking about how he was having trouble adapting to that right wing position. Um, he's still young, dude. I mean, the dude is still young. Vinicius is 19 years of age, I believe. So he's still young. Hopefully, he can adapt to that position. Because for me, I would like to see him play a little bit as a right winger. I mean, like I said, he's still young. He can learn a different trade. He can get some experience on a different wing. Try to look at a game from a different perspective. Maybe that'll help with his development. But I would like to see Vinicius on the right, just because his finishing is it's just not that great. And I feel like on the left, we'll never see a Vinicius that we want, just because his finishing is off. And then obviously Eden has it on the left. But thank you for that, Devontae. Rodrigo Lasso says, Jovic looks like the type of player that needs to start really get going. It's normal for a striker, though. And that's a good point, Rodrigo Lasso. I've heard some people that, said that Jovic really needs to step up. And I think at this point, yeah, he does need to step up, However, it is a different league, different country. He's 21 years old, very young. He's still developing. All those factors, if you take that into consideration, I guess it's only normal. And like you're saying, it's normal for a striker. So, yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time for Jovic. Maybe we won't see the best of him, I do hope we see the best of him, but I feel like we won't see the best of him, maybe in this coming month. But I feel like in a month or two, I feel we'll really start seeing more and more of him. It's just about he needs to learn. He needs to learn how Real Madrid wants to play. He needs to learn also the understanding with his teammates. That obviously takes a little bit of time. I know he was injured a little bit too, so that doesn't help. So with all those factors into consideration, I think it's understandable that Jovic really hasn't hit the ground running, but I think he'll come good. Like I said, I would have preferred Raul Tomas at Real Madrid just because he can create something out of nothing. But now that we have Jovic, let's go with him, and I think he will be a good player for us. Naj says we need to finish our chances. That's all we need. Yes, that's a good point, Naj. I think it was versus Real Valladolid where we had, I believe it was 22 shots or something along those lines, and it was 4 of them on target. Obviously, Benzema not being able to finish that didn't help either. We know that Benzema profligates his chances time and time again, but we do need to finish the chances. I think that's a good point from Naj. Real Madrid fan says the problem is even if we create many chances, we don't have a number 9 striker because Benzema always moving back to the midfield, and that's a very good point. And that's the thing. That's the situation here. It's like you have a number 9 that drops back into midfield, and how do you there, and essentially you don't have a striker, so that does become a real problem. You don't have a lot of threat in going up front, I guess you could say, because Benzema likes to drop in and stuff like that. So yeah, Jovic, I just feel like Jovic, he hopefully he can come good this season because I feel like he could. It's not he can replace Ronaldo or anything like that, but he'd certainly bring us goals to the club, and that's exactly what we need at the moment. We're just lacking that, you look at our games, maybe the first game was 3-0, but you look at the other games, it's 1-0, maybe 2-2, 2-2 away at Villarreal. That's not bad at all. 2 goals to get at Estadio de la Cerámica. But then again, I would like to see more going forward. We just haven't seen it. And let's see here. Devontae says Freno. Rodrigo Lassa says, I'm not sure if I'm correct, but I saw something about Luis Suarez also having a slow start at Barcelona. Yeah, I mean, Luis Suarez is 32 now, I believe. So that's, age is going to catch up to him, and I think that's only normal. Guy's a world-class striker, I have to say. But it's only normal that he gets kind of a slow start. I mean, especially considering his age. Do I think he'll have a good season? I think he's going to have an okay season. I'm not expecting the best season out of Suarez. However, I think he's still class. I think he's still got it in him. But yes, he is dwindling down. I think that's only normal. And Devontae, oh man, I'll show it. Jonas says Luis Suarez a dick. Yeah, I guess he is, huh? Yeah, I mean, you saw the thing. What did he? I mean, as a player, I don't really like him, but he is a good player. I should say, as a person, I don't really like him. As a player, he's a very good player. Devontae says Benzema and Jovic up top. Jovic is a great player. That's what I wanted to see basically. But how do you play Benzema and Jovic up top? I guess the only way to go about it is with the 3-5-2. And at the moment, I just feel we don't have that depth. We do. I mean, we would have Militao, Ramos, and Varane for the back three, and I think that could be really good. The only problem, one of them gets injured. You have Nacho. You don't want to play Nacho with the 3-5-2. It's gonna mess you up. It's gonna mess you over, you know. So you don't want to play Nacho with the 3-5-2. So obviously a 3-5-2 would be best for those for Benzema and Jovic. A formation like that I could definitely see. You have three in the midfield, very, very good. You have two wing backs that can push forward. But then you have Carvajal, who's not very good. You could have Odriozola, who's pretty decent at pushing forward, I have to say. So you could have Odriozola and Marcelo at the wing back positions, pushing forward. And then, so what I would like to see, a 3-5, if we are to use Benzema and Jovic both together, then a 3-5-2 I think would be best. 4-4-2, I'm not really liking it at the moment. I thought I'd warm up to it, but I'm not really liking it. And Nash says, when is Hazard coming back from injury? I'm not sure, actually. I thought we were going to see him maybe versus Villarreal, but that wasn't the case. I know if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he went, I'm not actually sure, but I think he might have gone with Belgium to international duty. However, I'm not totally sure of this. I know in Zidane's press conference in the pre-match press conference, Zidane said that Hazard was not fit and he wasn't going to be fit in a bit. So, Eden Hazard, I'm not sure. Probably, I'm assuming in a couple weeks he'll be back. But like I said, I'm just not sure of his current situation. Real Madrid fan says, even with Ramos and Varane, they are very bad at the moment. Exactly, Real Madrid fan, exactly. And that. Like I said, these players, man, they at one point, you know, we were able to do so well with these players, and it's just bewildering how much they've regressed. I guess you could say they've regressed. I mean, I never saw it with Varane. You know, I never saw Varane regressing so much. It's just it bewilders me. Like I said, and Ramos obviously he's 34. He's dwindling down. I think that's normal. But yeah, I mean, these players are dwindling down essentially, and we do need kind of a revolution. That's what Zidane was talking about a little bit. Jonas says Carvajal is very good 1v1. He always out of position because Zidane wants his fullbacks to push high. Exactly. Carvajal is, you know, he is pretty good at 1-on-1. Yeah, that's true actually. From what I'm thinking at the top of my head. Defensively, he's been a little shaky on these past few days. The Carvajal could be an option. Odriozola is another one as a wing back. So, if you could have something like a 3-5-2, it would be great. The only thing is we just need squad depth. And Devante says CR7 to win the Ballon d'Or. Oh, man. I don't know who's going to win it, to be honest. I still think it's Van Dijk. I still think Van Dijk should win it. I know Messi's been quite influential, but Van Dijk, I think, has been... I don't know. I feel like it needs a change. Rodrigo Lasso says Real Madrid always have the best defenders on paper, but they never seem to play like it. Is it a system thing or a confidence issue? It is kind of weird, actually. That Real Madrid, actually, you look at Varane, and it is kind of weird. I think with Varane, it might just be maybe it's a confidence issue, maybe it's a lack of focus. I feel like a lot of it might be due to a lack of focus. I think. Like I said, the players they're not as hungry as before, and I just feel like they're just not as focused as before. You know, there's not that same hunger that they used to have. So it's only normal in some ways. It's only human, you know. When you've done everything you've had to do your whole life, you essentially switch off, you know, to some extent. So I can understand in some ways, but if they are going to continue like that, then we do need to move on. Now it says, speaking off the pre-match conference, how can we have it translated because it's hard to find one? I will actually try to the last one I wasn't able to translate. But what I want to do essentially, man, you guys have me in a real predicament because basically like my schedule is very, very difficult these days because obviously, you know, you have I have school and things like that, so it can be quite difficult to invest some time into this channel. But what I do want to say is I do want to always translate those press conferences. I kind of want to give a reaction. I'm able to speak Spanish. So basically, I try to get the most pertinent topics from the press conferences, and I'll try to give them to you a day before the match. But if you want me to do that, I could definitely do that, Naj. Just let me know. Rodrigo Lasso says overconfidence issue. It could be that too, actually. Someone like Sergio Ramos could be suffering from overconfidence. He's never one to it's a lack in confidence, and someone else that you could say the same thing about is Thibaut Courtois. John says Varane always covers for Carvajal in the right back position because he's out of position. That's a good point, actually. I never saw it like that, but actually that's a good point. Now that you talked to me about that, I know wasn't it the last goal in Villarreal where it was the last goal, I think, versus Villarreal where was it Carvajal? I don't know if it was Carvajal that was out of position, but Varane did have to cover there. Obviously, it went through Varane's legs and it was very easy, but I don't know if it was Carvajal just being out of position. I really don't remember what happened there. And Naj says that would be great. Thanks a lot. Okay, yeah, I'll do that then. So the next press conference, hopefully, I can just do a pre-recorded pre-recorded video, and I just go through the pertinent topics and just kind of talked about them. So I'll do something like that then. Thanks for that, Naj. Really do appreciate it. So I'm going to end it pretty soon, guys. Like I said, there's not too much to talk about. Obviously, it's just international break. I just did want to make a short video, just talking about how we can move forward and things like that. Obviously, our defense is yes, it is a shambles at the minute. That's obviously going to leave us in a precarious situation. Goalkeeping position is a precarious situation. Going forward, I mean, I'm not too excited. I'm not too excited going forward. You look at our lineup, and it's not that great. You have Courtois, Areola in the goalkeeping position, and it's like I said, it doesn't look that great. I wish we would have had Navas. I wish Navas would have stayed at the club, but it is what it is. A right back position, it's up and down. Center back position, up and down. I think the left back position is the only one that looks solid, to be honest. And the center midfielder positions don't have a lot of depth. You have players that are aging, and then the right wing position, Bale, Lucas Vasquez, Brahim Diaz. Hopefully he'll come back, pretty soon. But it's not good enough. And then striker position, I think is fine. Left wing position, Eden Hazard, really. So with that squad, are we really going to win a lot of trophies? I mean, I really, like I said, I'm not too excited. And it sucks to say that, but it's just reality. Maybe it's just pragmatic thinking. John says international matches starts tomorrow. Oh man, it sucks. I don't like international matches, but it is what it is, I guess. And John says I can't buy FIFA 20 because I play PS3. Oh man, you should play PS. You should get a PS4, man. It's quite anachronistic. Is it anachronism? That's the right word. Yeah. Gosh, you got to get a PS4, man. You got to get a PS4. And Rodrigo Lasso says Modric suffers from Carvajal's poor positioning as well. He played at right back a lot in the past few seasons. Wow, that's funny that people have been telling me that. I that's true. Huh? I mean, I didn't watch that too much, but that's certainly a good point. Thank you for that, Rodrigo Lasso. So it seems to be Carvajal seems to be just that big problem at the moment. And Fade Zero Archer says, "Are you hyped for FIFA 20? Don't know if you're a gamer." I used to play FIFA. I have to say, I don't play FIFA anymore, but I think it was after FIFA 18. It was after FIFA 18 where I was just like, man, this is the same thing all over again. So after FIFA 18, I was just like, oh, I'm done with FIFA. It was just the same thing over and over, and I got kind of tired of it. It was pretty redundant. I did play online a little bit, and I ended up going into Division 1, so that was pretty good, I have to say. I just hate Division 1 because what everyone does in Division 1 is they shoot from long distance with Gareth. What they would do before was they would get Gareth Bale and Ronaldo. They would shoot from like halfway line, and it's just like, how do you do that? It's just stupid. I just remember that. Real Madrid fan says all Madridistas have the same feeling. Our hope on next season with Pogba and Mbappe. Exactly. I think like you said, Real Madrid fan, I think our hope will be in the next season, unfortunately. And like Rodrigo Lasso was saying earlier, unfortunately, it's probably going to be more of a transition season where some players will just have to, build that cohesiveness. There will have to be, that cohesiveness that we'll have to build. And that says, unless we do something in January transfer window and turn it around. I mean, yeah, essentially you could, but January transfer window never really, I would say, it's never really that exciting because, the transfers that really happen in the January transfer window, aren't anything that are really going to turn a season around. From what I can remember, I guess, from the top of my head. And Rodrigo Lasso says, I want to build a full Real Madrid Legends team, but it's too expensive. Lol. Oh, man, that would be good, man. I can't even think of, let's see, maybe you have Roberto Carlos on the left back position. Maybe you have, who do you have up top? Raul, you could have, I can't even think, who are some Real Madrid? I can't even think of Real Madrid Legends right now. Center back positions, Hierro, right? And then right back. I certainly don't remember all the legends. You have Casillas in goal, obviously. And John says, #Pogno. Man. The agenda is strong with Pogba. But yeah, you know what? I agree to some extent. I totally understand you. I don't know. Look, Pogba does lose the ball with Manchester United in deep positions, and that's never good for a team. He's world class on his day. He is inconsistent, like you say, Jonas. I just feel like he never had these problems at Juventus. I feel like we wouldn't see that at Real Madrid as much, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Fade Zero Archer says Casillas. Rodrigo Lasso says Figo. Figo's such a controversial one, but yeah, that's true. Butragueño, that's true, huh? Thoughts on James? Thank you for being on, Oscar. James Rodriguez is a world-class player, man. He's really good. So far, he did miss his chances, right, last game, but I'm not being too harsh on him. I thought he had a really good game considering he had no preseason, I think, so I think he had a pretty good game. I hope we see more of James Rodriguez because he's certainly, he's world-class. He's just a player that I feel could be very important this season. Isco's not at the level that maybe we're used to seeing him. So James Rodriguez, I hope he does come good. I hope we see more of him. And that's what, like I said, that's what I like about Zinedine Zidane. He gave the chance to James Rodriguez. He gave the chance to Gareth Bale. And, he could have easily said, you know what, I'm going to, shun these players. I'm not going to play them and whatever. But no, he decided to play them. I think that's very good sign. So, good. I guess good. I guess it's a good thing, I guess you could say. And Nash says, I think he played pretty good. Yeah, James played good. And Rodrigo Lassa says, what do you think your reaction would be if Mbappe signed for Barcelona in the summer? Oh my gosh, man. You have Griezmann, Mbappe, Messi, Suarez. Suarez getting older, and Dembele. We need to make another sign. If Mbappe does sign, we would need to go after someone else. And that would be Neymar. That would be Neymar, right? I think logically what should happen is Mbappe should sign for us and Neymar should sign for Barcelona. And Rodrigo Lassa says mine would be no internet for the whole season. Man, that's funny. Fade Zero Archer says Casillas, Salgado, Ramos, Hierro, Carlos, Makelele. Man, how can I forget that one? Redondo, Figo, CR7, Raul, Brazilian Ronaldo. Man, out of this world, that guy. And Raul too, and CR7, of course. And Fade Zero Archer would be my best Real Madrid Legends team. That's a good one, Fade Zero Archer. I like that one. And Naj says, I would be pretty mad if that happened. Yeah, I would be mad too if Mbappe signed for Barcelona. That would kind of surprise me, to be honest. I think Mbappe is more of a Real Madrid fan. We saw him in the Real Madrid jersey when he was young. So I think he has it in his mind he's going to go to Real Madrid. But if Barcelona do come up with a contract, I wouldn't be surprised if he does end up signing for Barcelona. That's all I have for you guys. I'm going to end it right there. I'm just going to summarize really quick. Obviously, like I said, I don't think we have many chances of winning any, how can I say, salient and not salient, but any important silverware this season. Just because the lack of squad depth, you look at the squad, it's dilapidated squad. It's a squad that's, that was once good and is no longer good, is no longer at the level that it used to be. So, can we really win trophies with this squad? I certainly don't think so. Hopefully we do, but you look at it pragmatically, and I don't think it's going to happen. You look at the goalkeeping situation, obviously a precarious one. You look at the, some of the injuries we've gotten, obviously throughout the preseason. That wasn't a good sign either. So like I said, I'm not too excited for this season. But like Real Madrid fan was saying earlier, I think our hopes should lie in next season. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. And Jonas says, I would stop watching football if Mbappe joined Barca. Yeah, I know. It's I don't think it's gonna happen, but you never know. You never know. And Oscar says, do you think we have enough midfielders for this season? No, certainly not. We sold a lot of mids this summer. Oscar says Llorente, Kovacic, Ceballos, and Kubo. Yeah, I know. We sold too many midfielders, and we didn't get any replacements for them. And I was really surprised that Zidane didn't go out and get another one. He was so adamant on the Pogba one that essentially he was so focused on it that essentially it just kind of the summer transfer window just flew right past him, unfortunately, and we didn't get another midfielder. And now we're bereft of squad depth, and we're bereft of midfielders, and we need midfielders. So it is worrying. And the midfield is where games are won and lost. And if we don't have a good midfield, then I'm afraid that we'll not have the best of seasons. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna end it there, guys. Like I said, thank you guys for being on. Thank you, Naj. Thank you, Jonas. Thank you, Claps. Thank you, Rodrigo Lasso. Thank you, Real Madrid fan. Thank you. Let's see here. I don't want to miss anyone, and please bear with me if I do miss someone. Thank you, Devontae. Really appreciate you being on. Let's see if I. Thank you, Naj. Thank you, Zero Archer. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Oscar. Appreciate you being on. And that's all I got for you guys today. So thank you guys for watching as always. And have a good day or have a good night wherever you are.